morning, y'all. Finger snapping morning. Ha! Yes, indeed. Yeah. All this music Mr. Ron Jackson put behind that song, y'all. Hey, the maestro. Ha! Get your chair, get your mats. I'm walking, y'all. If you're going to do chair exercises or stretch, line up if you walk wall to wall. Remember when I was in Nevada? I walked in place. You just walk in place. Jump on your bikes or start your treadmill. Yes, indeed, y'all. Yes, indeed. Yes, 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 yes. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I gotta do some costume adjustment, if you will. Like, comment, share. Tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe, subscribe. Subscribe. Well, thanks for coming on the walk, y'all. Let's get this party started. Y'all, oh, let me do this YouTube camera. Y'all, I done found, oh, what's the date? CBD. But they'll have to bring me about our whole discussion. Freedom on this penal colony. I might as well just jump right into it. Yes! Yes! CBD for pain. My daughter rented this car, and I had to drop her somewhere, or she had to drop a car somewhere. Then I had to get her, and the car was just short of a go-kart. It was so low to the ground. To get out, I almost had to roll. Tumble and roll. So, my muscles tensed up again. I had to use them a lot to push myself up, push myself out, driving the car. Oh, it was a lot, y'all. It was so much that by the time we drove past this place with a big sign that had CBD, I said, you got to pull over. I am not going to make it. I ain't going to make it. So my daughter pulls in, and I come in and I said, miss. I said, what do you have for pain? Muscle pain. Because I should preface that with my exercise friend, skating, ballroom dance, and everything friend, told me that they had went somewhere and her son had picked up some CBD pain from his pain, and he used it on his muscle. I don't think I cleaned my glasses. Anyway, that he used it on his muscles, and it worked. So that's when I was passing it, and I was feeling so much pain, I just told my daughter to pull over. AJ said he had got this thing, and, you know, I could hardly make it home. Again, I had to get out that little car. It was the most excruciatingly painful experience that I felt since childbirth. So I was able to make it in the house, drag this whole wonderful, beautiful matter in the house, and I took out the CBD and I rubbed it. It is shea butter. All right, Africa. Shea butter. Yes, honey. Yes, all we used to have is that shit they used to put on us that they come to find out years later gave us cancer. All the natural things, but now they're doing it and they're profiting, but that's getting back to freedom on this penal colony. So, I ain't giving no names, because we ain't got no sponsors on this shit, because they don't like nothing I'm talking about. Besides, if you ain't fuckable, you ain't commercial worthy. I don't want bowel movement commercials and Coke commercials on my channel. And you can't control that kind of stuff. So they have you would think that the creator, oh, she supports this. No, I don't. So, here we are. And it works. It works. So I said, okay, this is the first day. And it said, use liberally. When you feel the pain, hit it. Help me lay down and rest. When I got up, I felt that pain. I hit it. The pain was gone, y'all. So I said, wait a minute. We gotta see. Sunday come. That pain from being in that go-kart still hit me. I hit it with the CBD. I said, what's this here now? What is this? This son said, just go ahead and rub your legs. This, you know where it's going. Whole day. Pain-free. So now I'm like, why the hell are y'all stringing people out on fucking oxycodone if you had this in... Just going back to freedom on this penal colony, honey. Maybe if y'all hadn't thrown our young men in jail for the past 50 years for marijuana, they could have came up with this a long time ago. And I think we did come up with it. Because on this penal colony, nothing is ours. They take everything. So as far as I'm concerned, an African-American young man that came out with this CBD. Ain't that some shit? Freedom on this penal colony. For at least 50 years, they have been tossing young African-American men that's trying to side hustle because they won't give them no jobs. Because 600 years ago, their ancestors were in prison on this penal colony. And everyone born after that was enslaved. Until Lincoln said, that eventually they going to find out. Eventually they going to put it together what y'all going to do. And the Hatfields and McCoy has been running this shit all along. The Dems and Republicans, the political party. The Dems the longest, Republicans came through for the kill. But the Dems have been doing the slow strangle. And the Republicans just came in for the kill. That's freedom on this penal colony. So these folks spend years in jail for a dime bag of weed. And these white men is out here making millions. And guess what? Little black boy's still in jail. Still in jail. That's freedom on this penal colony. Do you understand? Now cops and judges and everybody that invested in CBD. Y'all been throwing our asses in jail about the CBD that's connected to the THC that's connected to the weed that come from the ground. And then I said to myself, well, yeah, some African-American or African person came up with this CBD. And they ignored it because they wanted to addict the world to Oxycontin. That's where it comes from. I'm still wondering how these Asians and shit like that, how the fuck y'all mad at us? I didn't make no Oxycontin. The people that did, you're still kissing their ass. I don't get it. That's freedom. freedom on this penal colony. I often said to myself, I ain't got no bomb on no Hiroshima. How the fuck you mad at me than the white men that did it? That's freedom on this penal colony. The reason for the penal colony is our ancestors. That's how we got here. We didn't come picking no cotton. I've seen back in the day how they used to import people who were coming to, as they call it, the New World, but coming to the penal colony to work. They had cabins. Some of them, if they didn't have cabins, they just huddled on the top or huddled places. When I looked at how they transported our ancestors, everybody was trained down like sardines. That's prisoners of war. Thousands of them. To get far away from Africa as they could get us, the crowns, the European crowns, the German crowns, the Hochwuchschaftskufischer. Because Ethiopian brought the cult of Hebrew into their country and mixed with the German people. Okay? Got us as far away from Africa as possible. But we will always be labeled born in blood, inmate criminals. We don't have to commit a crime. That's what Audrey was trying to tell me when she took me to the hanging tree. She said, girl, I was like, oh, you know, it's so horrible about how Germany killed all those people. And she just looked at me, she said, all the people, she said, like, what about your people? I never knew anything about my people. They never said anything about my people. By then, I was already in middle school. I had asked 1,000 times, but no one answered. If it wasn't for the Black Power movement, I wouldn't know anything. So, Audrey said, she would call me silly when I did stuff like that. She said, come on, let me show you something. She took us to the hanging tree. I can see it in my head right now. I can even see how we walked to get there. And I said, Audrey, what did they do to get hung? She said, girl, you so silly. They ain't have to do nothing. I was like, nothing? Nothing but be black? I was like, well, where the white hanging tree at? Where the Asian hanging tree at? I know it got to be a Hispanic hanging tree around here somewhere. No? South Carolina went around cutting down all hanging trees that they used to be proud of. Everybody knew there was hanging trees. And like I told you, I went back. I used to always try to dart by, because talking about taking the long way back to my cult, South Carolina, was it Southern Baptist cult? I took the long way home, honey. And I always swung by the tree. I felt we had a little something in common. And then I started volunteering. And then I got a job. And then it's just like, one day I was like, oh shoot, the hanging tree. And I went over there, and they had cut it down. I just remember crying. I was like, oh, you're going, you're going, you're going. But they was like, no, we ain't, we with you. So I don't know how many hundreds of people I left that tree with, the energy of all those people with me. Maybe that's why I think and move differently. People always say, no one thinks like that. Who would think of that? Who would research, build a theme park about African American pride and African culture and a way for Africans to move their products. Come get these coins, I was saying. Come get these coins. And now I know why it would never be. The one who was like, you got to be out your damn mind. You label born in blood inmate criminal. You will not make anything. That's freedom on this penal colony. The jails are full with our youth. Has been for the past 50 years for selling weed, for selling marijuana. And today, white men are millionaires for selling marijuana. That's freedom on this penal colony. We go to jail and they make millions. That's a penal colony. So I said I like the CBD, but I gotta find me a local African American man or whoever that's able to hook that CBD thing up. And you put your own shea butter like they doing now. Book a flight, go straight to fucking Africa and get your damn shea butter. That's what you do your movement, directly from. And you make that shea butter. Because I need to buy more. But I'm telling y'all, I'm hard pressed to go buy the white people's CBD. Hard pressed. Very hard pressed. Even though there's pain. So I got to hurry and find me. Like I said, I prefer an African American local company. I don't want no fucking Whoopi Goldberg. Fuck Whoopi. I want a little Joe Smo who went to jail for 20 years for selling a dime bag. I want to put that money in your pocket. Hey, y'all. I'm walking, y'all. Yeah. Trying to save my feet. It is a famous snapping morning, y'all. Yeah. I had a good time skating, y'all. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ha-ha. Yeah. What? Trip me all up. Trip me over, trip me back, and trip me on the side. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Man, Ron Jackson put a whole lot of music behind this song. Yeah. The maestro. Y'all go to his shows. Look at his shorts. He be giving guitar lessons on Facebook and YouTube, child. When I was a few years younger, my fingers is no more, I'd be sitting there plucking my ass off. Yeah. Just when you walk with me. Yeah. I'm saying now they probably putting a diarrhea commercial on behind me, or a poopy commercial with shit dancing across the stage. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. 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 Let me up until I'm just a no. The minute I say, okay, I want it to be commercialized, I'll be getting foot fungus commercials. I'm good. Cat shit. Or I'll be getting the one with this blonde hair, blue-eyed man saying, you need me. No, I need you to get them young boys out of jail for selling weed. That's what the fuck I do so much that it curls my hair. But as long as you get the views, I don't got the views, so they see it differently. But I'll put this out on the ether. The ethers are way wider. They stretch way, way further. This is a vehicle, ends to mean. Yes. I want to say, you want to help me? Since you called off that cross just to help me, could you call your ass down to the correctional officers and tell them to let them young boys out? That these white men is making $1 million fucking now off of something that you wouldn't even allow them to make 10 cents on. But let me tell you what I found out from being on this penal. If you don't group up, you can do stuff. Just like in the brick and mortar prisons. They watch for who groups up with who and how the groups move. What they don't look for is the individual. They don't got time for the individual. That's why serial killers run rapid. They basically are an individual group of predators. They're not going to have like lions got their whole prize, as you call them, and everybody else got their own groups. They know the key to working this penal colony, and it's single. So young people, when y'all get out, if you still got that business sense for weed, go for it. But go for it as an individual. You can't have the crowd. You can't have the entourage. You have to move singularly. Now, while moving singularly, if you meet up, that's something different. Like in the brick and mortar prisons, a lot of times they don't meet up. One person has had enough and he getting ready to chip through that wall and climb that fence. Then on a whole nother side, there's someone that is fed up. And they're going to they're going to cut through those bars and they're getting out. And then someone else is going to make some kind of electrical thing to try to trip the lock so they can get out. And if they're all successful, sometimes they meet up and sometimes they don't. And it takes a longer time to find the people who do it individually. In the group, they can find you pretty quick because you group. And that's what this penal colony is made for. If you group, their job is, especially us, born in blood and made criminals, if you group, they will zoom in on you and separate you. You do not have the freedom to group on this penal colony. It's in the laws of all the penal states, and on the federal level. Warden Bush pulled it out. Maybe Warden Reagan. I think Nixon, they pulled it out. You can't group. That's the first thing they do. And if they see you grouping, throw your ass in jail. Now, this is African Americans. I tell you, this is where I'm speaking from. All them young boys' lives ruined for 50 generations. Right? Isn't a generation 10 years? 50 years. I'm 64. I remember when I was small. They was tossing them in jail. Marijuana. It had all kind of street names back in the 60s. But that's pretty much what you took the fall for. They wasn't bringing you down for heroin yet because heroin was being dumped by the patty rollers in the communities where we were. So I was up in Harlem. They dumped that shit like food trucks. And all the activists kept saying, "What are you doing? Why don't you stop this? Why don't you stop that?" And they was like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." And now You sprung the hell out. Yeah. We was in Harlem. We used to see the junkies laying all over the place. Sometimes you couldn't get to the hall. They was all lined up. And that young activist was saying, where did the drugs come from? How did it get here? Who got this much money to buy this much drugs in there? The patty rollers. Just like in the brick and mortar prisons. Who brings in the drugs in the brick and mortar prisons? How can you be in a brick and mortar prison and get strung out? Never did drugs before. Never did anything before. Go into the brick and mortar prison and become addicted to heroin. How in the hell does that happen? I'll tell you. In the prisons, it's called the COs. They bring it in there. They want to get rid of somebody. They want to set somebody up. They want to make some extra bucks, etc., etc. Now come out that prison and come back to this penal colony. Same fucking thing. Same thing. That's freedom on this penal colony. Same thing. So now, they got heroin, all white heroin, all over the place. All over the place. You don't see too many African Americans. A lot of them killed off, died off. And like me, when you see heroin as laying all in the hall in 135th Street, that's where I live, laying all in the hall, you didn't have to worry about sexual predators. They wasn't into that. As kids, we had no fear of walking through a whole line of junkies laying and being high in the hall. They wasn't interested in sex. They was interested in getting high. So we were never afraid of them. You could sit on the porch with a junkie, watch him do the mean junkie lean, talk to himself, dribble all over himself and everything. And you had no fear. All he wanted to do was get high. Now the stores, you know, junkies can steal. That's why the white people are upset. The white people are ripping off the stores like crazy on it. Anyway, that's freedom on this penal colony. If a cop pulls you over, a patty roller pulls you over, if you are born, the label born in blood, inmate criminal, when that policeman comes to your car, that is your second offense already. Second offense. Well, no. Sorry. Let me go back. If he whoop, 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 pull you over, that's your second offense. Well, the first one being born in blood, inmate criminal, labeled, born in blood, inmate criminal, first offense. Second offense, he had to pull you over. The third offense is if he has to walk to this car. So after the car. So at that point, he can either unlife you, pull you out, drop some shit in your car, and have you put in jail. Or he could just let you go with a warning. Freedom on this penal colony, I have yet to have a DNAer or a friend that I know who has told me that they was pulled over by a patty roller and not given the three things that I listed. Well, not the walk away. No. They either got the ticket, got arrested, car towed, license destroyed, and don't even get it. That's freedom on this penal colony. Five generations of African American men and women in jail for selling weed that these white people, and only white people can get it, because they made it cost so much money for you to get a license to sell the weed that it instantly excluded us. So that's why I'm looking for these young boys out here that's doing it. I'll take the chance. I'll take the chance. You can over-medicate me. I was just poisoned by the dental, medical, and pharmaceutical company for over 30 years. Trust me. I ain't worried about you poisoning me with no CBD. They damn near took away my life with tetrachloroacine, hydrochloroquine, whatever these antibiotic shit is. That's also freedom on this penal colony. We're only for experimental reasons. If we are healed through the process of dealing with these people, it is from us healing ourselves. It's not from nothing that they did. And trust me, we keep saying the numbers of African American people dying is high. I mean, is high at the hands of those people. And they say it's low. They say if more of us came to them, we live longer. As long as living longer entails not having the coochie, not having titties, not having foot, fingers, toes, feet, elbows, kidney, then yeah, dealing with them, you will live longer because you'll need them to live. Tuck in your elbow, squeeze your gut, not up, not down. Let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1's good luck. Yeah. Yep. Boys are still sitting in jail. Still all over this penal colony. They ain't never coming out because they're free labor. And white men is making the millions. Tuck in your elbow. Squeeze your gut. Neither up nor down. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 for good luck. Yes! That's what freedom is on this penal colony. What we go to jail for, they make millions. Which is how it's all, since our ancestors were brought over here as prisoner of wars of the European crowns, that's how it's been. Like, comment, share. Tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. We're going to our gulp chat. Now, let me turn this off and see who sent me a little something on YouTube. Galaxy Anderson. Galaxy more than no, I don't know who that is. Oh, Granny Love. Thank you for the Granny Love. Grannies need love too. Whew. This Granny loved herself so much, I tell you. When I was skating out there, Eric had me, it reminded me of my ice skating days, because I know how to, when you do like this, and then you come up, and you go down like this, and your feet going out like that, and something clicked. I was like, holy shit. And I had flashbacks of me and Mr. Cully skating around the rink and stuff. I tell you. So, love this body. Yes. Hoo-ha. Here we go. Yeah. I can see them right now. They said, oh, you can't get monetized if you can't get no commercial. And I guess I shouldn't care what kind of commercial. When I can't afford to do this anymore, I'll just go walking by myself. That's where I'm coming from. I've never known anyone make money off of YouTube. I've never met a soul who ever made a dime off YouTube. So, I know this penal colony is all for the hype, honey. All for the hype. All for the hype. Anyway, I was skating yesterday. My whole back. Let's see. That CBD had me so. Remember I told y'all? Let's see. Do I gotta get that? Remember I told y'all? This muscle here, this is from the biking thing. What you need for the roller skate is that side muscle. And the same muscle that you use for roller skating is the same muscle that you use when you drive a car. Yep. But what the roller skating does for my back is these muscles here, y'all. Ooh. Ooh. These muscles here. Ooh. Child. They get so happy when I be skating. Oh. And they line me up. They line me up so nicely. I'm like, whoa. And that's what takes over in the skating. It is amazing. This muscle, it was like, and then it pulled tight. And you need this whole thing, like, when you, oh. Anyway. Truly wonderful. Truly amazing. My posture feels good. Gravity used to be pushing me over. That's where the pain came from, because it's pushing me out of joint. But as they said, when you stand on your hunches, and I think this is the haunch area. This is the haunch area. When you stand on your haunches, there is no pain. Your body is so erect. It's amazing. It is amazing. And it feels so good. So, honey, I'm looking for me. I don't care. I just need some African-American businessmen. Somebody let me know. I don't know why you really see me. So I'll put it out on the ethers. I'll bump into someone. Someone call me. Someone say something. But putting it out on the ethers. Yeah, I want a brother or a sister locally. I want some CBD. Wipe this muscle pain right out. I got 2,000 milligrams. That's what I want. But if you came out of jail, because see, here's another thing about Freedom on this penal colony. After he got out of jail, how he gonna get a job? He just done been in jail 8 years for selling a couple of ounces of weed. That white men is making $1 million now. So, I gotta tell the ethers, I hope they haven't come through. I'm using this sparingly. But I don't want to go back and give them no more of my money. Because they put they put for the past 50 years, young boys, majority of them, in jail, ruin them their lives. They have no social in jail. This whole world passed them by for a fucking couple of ounces of marijuana that these bitches is making $1 million out of now. That's freedom on the penal colony. Any intellectual or any ideas or anything you have, they instantly claim it as theirs. I'm surprised to hear in the brick and mortar prison how they would come out with more than what they just had on their backs, because usually you could only come out of the brick and mortar prisons with the clothes on your back. On this penal colony, it doesn't belong to you. Even intellect. I'll be going in 100 years, they'll have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed person saying that they're Aretha Franklin and all her music. And then they'll say that they started rock and roll, they're the reason for jazz, they're the reason, everything. And then someone will find like an album and say, wait a minute, I found this old album said Howard and Jack from a long time ago. That's a black man. Didn't blacks do music? They'll say, oh, no. They stole it from us. This is a penal colony. They claim everything. That's freedom. You have the freedom to create, but not the freedom to claim. And whatever African American labeled, born in blood, inmate criminals, labeled. So anything that we do is not belong to us. Why? Because we're criminal truly by nature. No, labeled criminal by nature. I used to always wonder, I said, why we got to be afraid of patty rolls? I didn't see white people. You take me downtown, they don't be scared. Why are we always scared? Well, why do people be following us in the store? Why I see the white people around. Why they following us? My husband said, shut up, Vicky, just shut up. I'm like, but I don't understand. She couldn't come out and say, child, we on a penal colony. And every time we went into that store, we label born in blood inmate criminals, and they think we are stealing from them. And because they think we are stealing from them, they follow us around, and they don't want us in their stores. So, as soon as we come in the store, they can be following this white person, following them, knowing that the man is stealing. But the minute one of us walks in, that stops. He can steal all the shirts. He can steal everything. They're going to focus all their concentration, at least when I was young, they focus all their concentration on that black person until they leave the store. Because the ultimate goal is to have them leave the store. Now they want our money. But back then they didn't even want our money. They want us to leave their stores. That's why I'm glad these bitches is closing down. I'm glad the internet is putting them out of business. I'm glad their buildings are collapsing because you didn't even want us in them. Alert, black person coming in. Oh, we don't want them in here. Okay, let me tell you all that. So, at 65, the ancestors broke it down for me. Because I said, listen, I'm going to have a matter energy. I can have a matter energy separation at any time. But I don't want to be like my mother. And I don't want to be like Irma crying, oh, what do we do? What do we ever do with them to treat us like that? Why do they do that? Why do they put these laws in? Why can't we do that? Why don't we throw us in jail? I said, I don't want to go like that. I don't want to go like that. No. And they always would say, you did the research. You won the theme park. You went in there to find out how y'all come together, you know. And I was like, no, I don't know. Yeah, I saw it, but I was like, no, I can't use this. They'll never give me money. No, I can't do this. We'll never get land. No one will ever take me serious. So then I was walking here, vibing. And the ancestor said, I think I was also saying, listen, my matter energy about to separate. You know, I don't know how long I got. And they said, say an inmate goes to prison. And he does his time, but when he gets out, he has to wear his inmate number on his shirt. We're going to say this is a white man. We're going to call him Whitey. And when Whitey finds a woman, okay, let's break it down. They broke down it. So Whitey gets out, and he goes to get an apartment. And he has to have his inmate number on his shirt. It has to be displayed where everybody can see it. So now he's trying to go get an apartment, but he can't get an apartment because everybody can look and see his inmate number so they know he is an inmate criminal. He did something to go to jail. So then he goes and he tries to find a wife. But he can't slim pickings because everything he has to have his inmate number on, telling everybody that he was in prison. So finally he meets someone and they get married. She has to wear his inmate number. She didn't commit any crime, does not matter. She is associated with an inmate, Whitey, that has to have his inmate number displayed for all to see. So now she marries him, she's in love, but now all her clothes has to have the inmate number because the original inmate number is now her husband. So now they have children. And the children are required to have their inmate numbers put on their little nappies, their little onesies, and all their blankets. It has to be displayed to let everyone know that she is connected to inmate criminals. Though she never did nothing. Never, just a little baby out the womb. So then they have another child. That child also has to wear the inmate number. So they be wondering why they can't go certain places. But there's certain places people with inmate numbers on are not allowed to go. They're not welcome. They're persona non grata. Okay? So then they grow up. Now, no, they have not committed any crime. Every time they go get a job, the kids of the original person, the inmate, every time they go get a job, they turned away because all the way to adulthood, they got to have their father's inmate number on them. So when they go to the job, highly qualified, made it through the whole high school with the inmate number, it was hell. Go for a job, can't get the job she wants. Why? Because he has to have that inmate number on. They know he can't get car loans and stuff because that inmate number, they know he's not going to be able to get a job to make enough money, to make no car payments. They ain't going to, if they give him any credit card, it's going to be higher than 20% interest rate because they know that he has an inmate number on him. He's an inmate criminal. He's not going to be able to get hired at good jobs. Not going to be able to go to college to get any training because he has his father inmate number. Now, the son of the original inmate he gets married, which would be the original inmate's grandchild. That grandchild is required to wear the inmate numbers of the grandfather. Though the baby didn't do nothing, they had not, don't even know what the original crime was. Don't know, but still got to carry the inmate number. So now certain doctors, they feel certain ways. They experiment, or if you see the inmate number, experiment on them, because they inmate, they criminal. And it doesn't matter. Then you look at that little baby, and the doctor can clearly see that no baby has been in prison to do anything. They ain't ordered to do anything. But that's the hypocrite's oath when it applies. Anyway, to the inmate number. They initiate the hypocrite's oath, which means they can cut you up, they can kill you, they can poison you, they can do anything. Though you didn't do anything, totally innocent. So now, the grandkids grow up. Everybody, you can tell all of them, because they have these inmate numbers displayed in the back, in the front, on the side. Everybody has to be able to see it. So don't nobody want them moving next to them. Don't nobody want them in the neighborhood. Don't nobody want to hire them. Because though they did not break the law, only one person 3 generations ago broke the law. But the burden is still, I guess the debt is not paid. So now, the great-grandchildren have to wear the inmate's number. They never did anything. They don't understand. Why do I have the kids laugh at me at school? I have this inmate number, whatever. Well, honey, 60 years ago, your grandfather, original Whitey, was thrown in jail for looking at a black woman. And now, I'm confused. I hope I'm not confused. I'm trying to throw humor in. And now, we all are labeled born and blood inmate criminals. Did that help y'all at all? Because that's exactly what happened to us. I didn't know why I couldn't go to these schools, because at this point now, 600 years ago, more, my ancestors were brought here for prisoners of war of the crowns of Europe. Everybody knew they was prisoners. That's why they was laid out there with sardine cans all chained down. No, not come to pick cotton. I've seen them import these Europeans to work and do labor. And ain't none of them been chained down like goddamn sardines. Stop playing, America. And y'all HBC. So is a man taught, so does he think. I was just trying to build a theme park. Africans in America theme park. So I had to go digging. And that's the only reason why I was digging. I wasn't trying to get no USDA stamp. I was just trying to lift up the race and hopefully get us in on a ground floor business advancement and get the African and the Caribbean nations to have the theme park be a focal point of import-export. That's all I was trying to do. And I found all that other stuff, but I shoved it away. I wouldn't. And then when I asked the ancestors, I pleaded them. I said, I'm 65 now. Matter, the separation of matter and energy is imminent. Imminent. I got to know. And they say, you know. But then they broke it down for me. So that's freedom on this penal colony. It's a penal colony. So ain't no freedoms for us until we get off this penal colony. There is no freedom for us. Everywhere you go, if you go to Europe, they're aware of the label blood-borne inmate criminals, us from this penal colony in America. They call this penal colony America. They call this penal colony USA. They call the wardens, president, distinct, just, all these matrix pretend names, and they're just wardens. Peace officer, security officer. No, they're panty rollers. Their whole thing is to handle us. From the time our ancestors were brought here as prisoners of war and put on in you call them concentration camp, compounds with the big white houses, which is office buildings. We know that to be office buildings now. Y'all go, gone with the wind. No, that wasn't gone with the wind. The European governors and such operated out of those they operated the whole compound of the enslaved African prisoners of war. These bitches on America, oh, gone with the wind. Oh, Sean, we always had. No, it wasn't. It's like me moving into an office building saying, oh, I'll die for this office building. It's a fucking office building. And that's all of it. Plantation. Wasn't a plantation. It was an enslavement compound. And those big white column houses you see is called administrative buildings. She was sitting on her veranda, fanning herself. After, I don't know, they got so many lies. They're still administrative buildings, and even now. So the ancestors cut me off when I said, oh, I want to go do a tour of the plantations. Every time I planted, they never let it succeed. And they was like, child, we trying to tell you, those are just office buildings. That's how the whole compound with the enslaved, remember, first was the imprisoned, but as they had a child who was innocent, didn't have anything to do with that shit, they became enslaved. But this matrix tells you, oh, Tara says, oh, all the Civil War and all. The bottom line is, let me tell you right fast. They always say the problem with the Negro, and even that race-based thing, that's all full of shit too. All full of shit. Let me tell you what they scared of. Once we do break through, that they have been killing our children, stealing our land, doing all this fuck shit to us, because 600 years ago, our ancestors were enslaved on this penal colony. Once we all get that in our head, trust and believe, and they know it too, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. That's your ass. Like, comment, share. You're absolutely right. You wouldn't stop poking the bear. Give the reparation. Say we sorry. Let's go on with life. But you won't do that. I don't know, of course, it's the crowns or whatever, but I hope Africa and them Indians and Asians, Afro-Asians, they get together and they jump across that pond and deal with y'all rotten asses again. Anyway. Yes. That's why I put this out on the ethers. I know what, 2 or 3 people see my videos. But the ether takes it way further. African nations, Kick them out. Especially if they're from this penal colony. They ain't give us no reparation. None. None. And hopefully enough of us will realize what the situation is, that you're not being, there's nothing you did. There's nothing wrong with you, nothing wrong with the color of your skin, nothing wrong, none of that bullshit. Your ancestors were brought here as prisoners of war by the crowns of Europe to be imprisoned on this penal colony. And they have been fucking with us ever since. And only us, we're the only ones. We need to start it, because if we start with them, if we start stopping them, other countries will come and help us stop them. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend, subscribe. Subscribe. Thanks for coming on the walk. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Oh, I love you too. I can't see who you are. Oh, Layla Nichols, thanks. I love you too. Like, comment, share. Tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. Thanks for coming on the walk, y'all.